Rusted iron ribs rise out of orange sand, half swallowed, half remembered. This is a ship, or what's left of one, sitting nearly a kilometer from the ocean that once carried it here. The desert did this, not war, not time alone. The desert itself reached out and pulled it inland. This is the skeleton coast, where the Namib Desert meets the Atlantic in a collision so violent that sailors once called it the gates of hell. Whales, ships, and the bones of countless creatures litter a shoreline that the ocean keeps trying to take back and the desert refuses to return. This is not a graveyard by accident. This is a graveyard by design. For centuries, this coastline has been a trap disguised as paradise. Thick fog rolls in nearly 200 days a year, swallowing the horizon whole. Sailors who could see the stars one moment found themselves blind the next, driven onto sandbanks they never saw coming. Once a ship grounded here, the sand did the rest. Shifting dunes buried hulls within years, sometimes months. The Eduard Bolin, a German cargo steamer, ran aground in 1909. Today, it sits nearly 500 meters from the waterline, stranded in dry desert, the ocean having retreated and the dunes having marched forward to claim it permanently. This stretch of coast has swallowed over 1,000 shipwrecks. Some are fully buried, others still show their iron skeletons, rusted and half erased, like the desert is slowly digesting them. But the bones here aren't only metal. Whale skeletons, decades old, lie scattered along the shore, remnants of a whaling industry that once thrived in these waters before the trade collapsed. Seal carcasses, picked clean by jackals and brown hyenas, mark the high tide line like punctuation. The local indigenous people, the San, had a name for this place long before German sailors arrived, the land God made in anger. It's easy to understand why. Move inland, past the wrecks, and the desert reveals its second secret. The dunes of Sossusvlei rise over 300 meters, among the tallest in the world, painted a deep, almost impossible red-orange by iron oxide buried in the sand for millions of years. These dunes are not static, they breathe. Wind reshapes their ridgelines daily, grain by grain, in patterns too slow to see and too constant to stop. At their base lies Deadvlei, a dried clay pan where camel thorn trees died centuries ago and never decomposed. The desert air is too dry even for decay. These trees have stood dead for over 900 years, blackened and skeletal, rising from white clay cracked like broken porcelain. They are corpses that refuse to disappear. To live here, you must learn rules the rest of the world has forgotten. The Himba people of northern Namibia have done exactly that for generations. Himba women cover their skin in oat cheese, a paste of butterfat and ochre, both as protection from the unrelenting sun and as a mark of cultural identity passed from mother to daughter. Water here is rationed by memory, not measurement. Elders know which dry riverbeds, called omurambas, will hold underground water even when the surface looks like solid stone. The skeleton coast was named for what it takes: ships, whales, hope. But travel inland and you find what it gives instead: dunes older than memory, trees that refuse to rot, people who learn to read water in stone. This desert doesn't destroy everything it touches. It simply decides what gets to stay and for how long.